Hiya Dave, super session today. Just to recap on the work that we did, as you can see here on the top left, massively improved posture to your previous sessions. You're well aware of what your posture needs to be now, and that's fantastic at that point. One of the things we worked on last time was getting the hips moving forward a little bit more through the hitting area, and this idea of leading with the handle as you come through. And you can see there that there's much less flipping of the hands than you previously had, and much more lateral movement in your hips. So you're definitely moving forward. You can see the left knee works over the left ankle, then slightly in front of it as the hips continue to move forward, keeping the club coming from the inside and keeping it swinging out through impact. We did experience though the odd overdraw or the odd pull to the left, and one of the reasons for that is if we take a little look at your golf swing, instead of tracing the grid that's put down on the mat, as we take the club back, we tend to take the club back a little bit too much down the line. So you can see as the club works back, it tends to work straight back rather than tracing the arc of your swing. So at that point we're a little bit outside the line, left arm coming away from the chest, and halfway back the shaft and the hands are heading up towards your right shoulder. Now ideally what we'd want is, if we're going to make an efficient swing and we're going to get the club coming from the inside without any manipulation, what we would want is a swing where the hands, the club and the shoulders trace that arc that we've put down on the mat. And what we've got here is a situation where we're not playing golf anymore, we're just throwing an object. And you can see there that the ideal way of doing that is to create a circle. You take the club back, and you take the arms back in particular in this instance, more on the inside. So you can see at that halfway back position there, the left arm now is on the same line as the grid that's down on the mat, whereas in this footage the left arm isn't on quite the same angle that we've got down here on the mat. So the left arm's a little bit too much in front of you at that stage. So a little bit of work on tracing the grid when you're hitting some shots. And what you can see here was the exercise which we suggested you use away from the golf course. We've placed a rubber T-peg under the right armpit. What that's going to encourage you to do is make more of a circular movement going back. You can see now that the club tends to work a little bit more inside than it was doing at the start of your session. And midway back, the hands and the shaft are working more through the base of your right arm or base of your right bicep, and you can see there clearly now that the arm is on the same angle as the grid that's on the mat, and the club during the takeaway has traced that same arc. So if we just run that back for you, club traces the arc, hands trace the arc, and arm is tracing the arc as well. So we're swinging that club in a more circular manner. At the top of the backswing, that gives us a much more compact, flatter looking swing as opposed to what we see here, which is a much more upright, above plane and slightly disconnected swing. So we're looking for an efficient swing. This gap here is quite substantial, whereas on this one on the bottom right, the gap is much less. So the arms and the body much more connected. You're swinging in more of a circle, which is going to allow the club to come into the golf ball from the inside without you manipulating. You can see there you trace that circle beautifully on the way through with much less face rotation than you have on this one. On this one on the top left, you're coming a little bit too much down the line. You're not coming from the inside enough because you've not took it back inside. And then there's a flipping of the club face. So that ball started straight and then drew to the left, pulled it left. This ball started right and then drew back. Ideally what we're trying to get is a situation where during your practice, every shot you hit would take up this sort of cone. It would either start right and draw back, start right and stay right, or start slightly right and draw a little bit less back. We certainly don't want to see any shots encroaching onto this part of the range when we're practicing. Good luck with it. Speak to you again in a week or so's time. Well done.